International here.
So excited to be here
on Cinco de Mayo on the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica, and we are answering your questions from Facebook Live. So I'm really excited to hear from you. Whatever is on your mind. Mary Beth has some questions she's queued up from you guys.
Yeah, we're excited to start answering.
Let us know.
We're going to start with Swap Meal, and your question was how to find out about those jobs that are never posted online.
Okay.
Great question.
Great question. Good question, because 80% of jobs are not posted online, and usually it's the best jobs that are not posted online. And why aren't they posted? Because they're so good that you can usually get a referral or
Sign down.
We're gonna fix that.
And that's
live. We're
live.
gonna start over.
Okay.
Oh, it's Facebook Live.
That's
Free
fine.
job advice.
He's curious.
Free job advice. Career advice.
No, you're good. He's good.
Happy with your job?
You turn it off?
Yep.
I said, are you
don't have
happy
to
with
turn
your
it
job?
Oh, okay. All right. No, it's actually. We're live.
Went for a photo for you to do too.
Cool.
Oh, the wind's pretty strong, huh?
Getting there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
It's a little intense.
All right, back to the drawing board. So we were talking about jobs that never get posted. So I would say there's a few ways for you to get the jobs that never get posted. Number one is to be on people's radar before you need a job. The way that you network with people, the way that you have conversations with people, and the way that you meet them is something you should be mindful of, right?
Definitely. I mean, I think you always want to be that referral, right? The top of the pile. And as a hiring manager in my past life, you know, what I always found is when I had a job that I needed to fill, the first thing I did was start with my network. And that's what's so important, is that you're really starting with your network. You know, we'd start with internally, and then we'd go to who do we know? Who are we excited about? And so if you're having conversations with those hiring managers, they're thinking about you.
Well, and I want to give you a homework assignment. So if you want to be the person that gets those jobs that aren't posted, the first step you want to take is come up with a list of 100 companies that you would be interested in. And I say 100 because I'm crazy, but also because it works.
Yeah.
So do some research on the city you want to be in, whether it's the city you're in right now or you want to make a move. Come up with 100 companies, and in each company you want to figure out who is the potential boss for you. Who is the person that might be managing you? That is the person whose radar you want to get on. And the third step is to send them an email letting them know that you love what they're doing and you love their consideration if anything opens up on the team that you're interested in, and attach a copy of your resume so that they have an idea on your background. That way, you know, when I used to hire, and I don't know about you, Mary Beth, but I used to first take a look at, you know, what are the resumes that I've gotten in my inbox before I even think about
posting to HR, right? I wouldn't even have a conversation with the HR until I figured out who I already knew.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Love that. Which I think brings us to another question, because Ashley's assignment was about, you know, figuring out what city you want to be in. So if you're thinking about moving and you want to be in a different city, how do you approach the job hunt?
Well, I think it's actually much simpler than one would assume, because we live in a world that's very digital and very technology focused. So instead of networking in person, the only difference is if you want a job in a new city, you're networking over the phone, or if you're going international, you're networking over Skype.
Yeah. And everybody has it now. So
and you can get a Skype phone number in the local area code. So Skype phone numbers aren't expensive to buy.
Yes. And I think the other piece of advice that we would have is if you are putting your resume out there, you know, put the city that you want to be in, and especially if you have a friend or a family member that lives in that city, you can actually use their address so that it seems as though you are, you know, really serious about being a local candidate.
Yeah, exactly. And I think one of the most powerful things you can do when you're networking to get a job in another city is to make it clear that you are on your way to that city, whether they hire you or not, and make it clear that you have a place to be in that city, whether it's a residence or people that you can stay with, just letting them know you have a residence that you can identify within that city so that there's no issue with the transition. And again, you don't need to even bring it up unless they do.
Yeah, make it easy. Make it seem easy that you're already going to be there no matter what.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Yeah, set up those conversations on phone calls. Just send some cold emails. Let them know you would love the benefit of their knowledge on their experience in the company, and set up some phone calls via cold emails to network with recruiters, network with your potential boss. And
Go back to that list of 100 companies and look for those phone calls.
So true.
Yeah, I love that. All right, so another resume question that comes up a lot is how do you actually cover up a gap that you might have in your employment?
Well, I think one of the first steps you need to ask yourself is what did you learn, or why is there a gap? So the most important thing is before you even cover it up, being able to talk clearly about what you learned from it. And also, I mean, the answer at the end of the day is you might not be able to cover up a gap depending on the amount of time.
Yeah, and I think especially on your resume, you shouldn't be afraid of those gaps, because really what you should be focusing on is how to have those conversations where you can get in front of the hiring manager or the recruiter and actually talk to them and share with them what it is that you learned from that experience, or kind of give that context as to why there's a gap, because there's a million reasons, but it's so important for you to actually be able to share them.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think it kind of goes with anything in the job hunt. What's most important is not your answer, but the energy that your answer is riding on.
Oh, huge.
And so if there's a gap on your resume or any area of weakness or insecurity on your job applications or just in your job hunt in general, the most important thing is for you to really check in with how you talk about it. If you're asked about something, the longer you linger on an area of insecurity, it's going to come off as an insecurity. Whereas the quicker you can comfortably just have a confident answer, the better off you're going to be. So the most important thing is to think about what are my insecurities in my job hunt and how can I answer those and premeditate on those answers. So
and practice.
Practice.
Right?
Practice creates certainty. So you can walk in and give an answer that you feel really confident, comfortable about, that you don't linger on for too long like somebody trying to cover up a crime.
Yeah, we definitely don't
Been
want
there.
that.
Yeah, don't need that.
Be honest,
Yeah.
right? I think that's one of our golden rules is you always have to be honest, but there's an important thing about being really confident in your answer, and you don't have to lie or cover it up. You just have to share in a quick and easy manner exactly what was going on.
Yeah, and also what you learned from it. So if
Yes.
you had a gap for some weird reason, like, you know, let's say you're like me and you decided you want to move to a foreign country and you just got a tickle, do it. But by all means, share what you learned, why you did it, and what inspired you, so that you can really make it clear whatever weakness there is, that you're a better person because of it, you're a better hire because of it, and you bring something to the table.
Yes, that's unique. Yep, exactly.
That's a good question.
So another question we have, and this is, I think, for so many of us out there, is how to be a career transitioner. So how do you go from one industry or one type of job into another?
Well, I think I love this question because there's so many people in transition. The most important thing is to really think about your past. Where have you been and where are you going? How can you take the thread of your past and carry it with you into your future? So really thinking about, okay, if you were in technology and you want to move into communications, how can you use your experience in the past in technology and connect it to the kind of experience you need to be able to talk about in communications? And there's a few steps you can take to create your experience and to brand yourself as someone with relevant experience. So step number one, you can do some volunteer work.
Yes, I'm a huge proponent of that. That's something I even did in my own life, in around kind of training and professional development. All of my previous experience before transitioning into being a career coach was volunteer work.
Yeah, this is Miss Volunteer right here, actually, I would say.
I spent a lot of hours.
When I met her. But you know, I think one of the most important things is to really think, what is the experience that you need and how can you go get a volunteer opportunity somewhere? And it doesn't have to be all of your time. It can be a couple hours a week, and you email organizations letting them know you're available to do some marketing or communications for them, all in the name of being able to put it on your resume, feel good, and contribute to your community.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the other thing is to know that it's actually pretty normal to transition. We're seeing that people, you know, that graduated from 2000 to 2005 had 4 careers before they were 32 years old. And so, you know, it's actually quite normal. So think about how it's not going to be that hard for you to really sell yourself when you think about your strengths and the things that you're naturally good at and how you can utilize those strengths that you've had throughout your career and share them into the next opportunity.
Okay.
Awesome.
So, awesome questions.
I think just one last one, which I think is so important, is around job offers. So how do you weigh multiple job offers and make sure that you're putting yourself out there to get the best and most amount of money, right?
Yeah, well, I would say when it comes to weighing job offers, you want to be honest with yourself, because a lot of the times as a job seeker, we might go mental about it and really think about it on a mental level, but I would really encourage you to check in with your heart. What do you really want? What really lights you up? Because at the end of the day, it's not a sustainable plan to have a job that you don't like. And you're going to inevitably, it's just like being in a relationship, it's going to break up, right? So inevitably you're going to have to face that. You might as well be honest with yourself now. If money is what motivates you, that's neutral and there's no problem with that, but you need to be very clear with yourself that that's where you're at. Because what I've found as a career coach to thousands of people around the world is that that doesn't always work.
And it's really about trusting that intuition. You know which is the right fit for you, so go with it.
So thank you so much.
Bye.
Susan, sign up. It doesn't